Today we are going to design the front-end web page of the Google website. Before going deep into the topic, I'll just give a brief introduction. Myself, Abhay Deshpande, currently pursuing my BE at RNSIT under the Department of Computer Science. My Gmail ID is abhaygiRish1997 at gmail.com. In order to develop this Google website, you need to know the basics of HTML and CSS. You can learn this from any of the websites like W3 Schools, Udemy, Udacity, Coursera. I personally did it from the Udemy website. Okay, in order to develop this Google website, you need to download the Google icon, which is in the form of PNG. You can download the Google image by visiting the Google website and downloading the image, which will put it into the code later. Starting with the HTML tag, I provided the title as google.com and the link tag. Link tag is used to link the HTML file and the CSS file, where the CSS file I have used is google.css. I have closing the head tag, the start of the body tag, and I have created a tag called nav. Nav is used to define a set of navigational links. These are the navigational links that I have used: Gmail, images, apps, and the sign in, where I have created an ID called front. ID is basically used in order to differentiate between different HTML tags. An ID isn't unique for a particular tag and it cannot repeat. And next comes the UL tag. UL tag defines an unordered list, and LI is an attribute of the UL tag, where I have given it as defines the list item. I have given the link as empty and the link name as U. Then I have created the link as Gmail, where I have given the Gmail link as well. Next comes the images, where I have given the link for that as well. I have given a website link for that. Next comes the apps, and next comes the sign in. Next comes the close of the navigational tag, and I have created a tag called div. Div tag defines a division of section in an HTML document. And next comes the h1 tag. This is the header one, where I have given the ID as logo. This is unique for the h1 tag, and I have named it as Google. Close the h1 tag. And next comes the form tag. Form tag is used to create an HTML form for the user input. And how do you take the user input? That is specified by the input tag, where the type of input is given by these values. For the first one, I have given the type as text. You can see it here. And next comes the submit, where the value is Google search. And next comes the submit as well, where the value is I'm feeling lucky. Now the form is closed, and the small tag is used. Small tag is used to define a smaller text, where the smaller text is google.ca offered in India, where I provide the link as well for that. The close of the tags, and then comes the closing of the div tag and opening of the footer tag. Footer tag is used in the lower end section of the website, where I have created a nav tag as well for that, with an ID called end, and the class is equal to clearfix. Class can repeat for any of the tags you use. Class can be the same for many tags, but ID can't be the same. I'm repeating this because this is really important. Next comes the UL tag again. Again, I have defined an unordered list, where the list is advertising, business, about, use google.com, settings, terms, and privacy. I've provided the link as well for that, where I've named it as advertising, business, about. And next comes the UL tag, which I've created with the class called right, where I've created for the privacy, the terms, settings, and finally the use google.com. Next comes the closing of the nav tag, closing of the footer tag. I've closed the body tag, and finally the ending of the HTML part, that is the closing of the HTML. Guys, the now HTML part is done. We'll jump into the CSS part, where by default I've kept the margin as 0 and padding as 0. Margin has a syntax of top, bottom, right, and left, and padding has the syntax of top, right, bottom, and left. Next comes the body. For the body, I've created the font family as Arial and sans serif, and the font size as 13 pixel. Next comes the container. Okay, the ID is indicated by the hash in the CSS part, where I have given the width as 580 pixels, margin 140, auto, text align, I have given it as center. Next comes the h1. For the logo part, I have given the ID as hash, where I have given the width as 329 pixels for that, height 55 pixels. I have added the Google image here, where I downloaded the Google image earlier. Background size, I've given it as 135 pixels, text indent minus triple line pixels. Margin, I've given it as 0 to 20 in order to provide proper spacing to that in order to make it look similar to the Google website. Next comes the input type is equal to text. Okay, for the text, I've given the width as 500 pixels, padding 2 pixel, margin top, I've given it as negative 10 pixels in order to make it look very similar to the Google website. And margin bottom, I've given it as 18 pixels from the bottom. Border, I've given it as solid 1 pixel hash CCC. The color for the border is given in the form of hex codes in the HTML and CSS. Font family, I've given a beautiful font Helvetica, which is used everywhere. Font size, I've given it as 16 pixels for that. And input text, hover. Hover, when you click on that, the border changes to the color hash AAA. And input text, input type is equal to submit. For these two buttons here, Google search, and I'm feeling lucky, I've given the background as hash AAA in order to make it look similar, very similar to the Google website. For the color of the font, I've given it as hash 333, border solid 1 pixel hash CCC, padding I've given it as 3 pixels in order to provide proper spacing between them. Font size 11 pixels for that. Font weight, I've given it as bold. You can see the bold as well here. Font family, I've given it as Arial and sans serif. Margin left is 10 pixels. Next, when you go and click on this, you will find a hand type button, which is given by this input type is equal to submit hover, and the cursor will change to the pointer. For the small tag, I've given the display as block, which displays it as a block. Margin, I've given it as 10 pixels. Font size, I've given it as 12 pixels. And next comes the link part. In order to design the links in CSS, it is the syntax is this. It goes as follows. And the color, I've given it as Dodger blue for that. And the nav tag with an ID of front, I've given the text align as right and the padding as 5 pixels, and I've displayed it as an inline. In order to display this as inline, I've given the syntax as display inline. Next comes the grouping selectors. These are combined selectors which I've provided in the single 2 lines as well, where I've given the color as hash 555, text decoration as none, and padding 10 pixels in order to provide the proper spacing to make it look similar to the Google website again. Then comes the again the nav tag, where I've given the text decoration as underline. Where you go and touch these buttons, you will find an underline there, which I've given it by the text decoration underline. For the footer part, I've provided the background as triple E. Position is fixed for them. Bottom is 0 pixels so that it touches the lower end part of the website. Width, I've given it as 100 pixels. For the footer tag, I've given the padding as 20 pixels, and they are displayed as inline as well, so that in order to display it in a line, that's why inline is used. Next comes the footer part again, where I floated it as left in order to provide proper spacing between them to make it look similar to the Google website again, guys. Next, for these I've given the float as right. The same thing again, these advertising, business and about should come to the left part. Use google.com settings, terms and privacy should come to the right part. For the class called fix, class is represented by dot in CSS, where the display it is given as a table and clear as both. That's it, guys. This is the way in order to develop this Google website. This is the basics you need to learn in order to build a basic website. You can learn many topics as well by this you can develop responsive web designs. This is just the basics, guys. Thank you very much.